Hello, hello, it's Liz, your psychedelic artist and medicine woman, and of course, the creator of the fabulous portals, my art installation that I've been touring around SoCal. And whenever I bring this big old double doorway, it's like 9 feet high and 9 feet wide. I take it everywhere, festivals, to the park. People always want to know, how the heck do you just roll up with a doorway? So today I'm going to show you in a video how to assemble the portal's doorway and how to set it up. Come on, let's get going. Okay, so to start, there are 8 main parts to the doorway, as well as, of course, the hardware and tools that you need. So you've got the 2 main long pieces here. You've got, this is the bottom piece to the door frame. The 2 long pieces are the either side, left and right. They are also the heaviest pieces with the 4x4 wooden post. And then you've got the top piece here, which is the shortest of the painted piece with the black detail. Here you've got the 2 black struts, the doors, moon, and sun. All right, first thing is first, we want to get the 4 wood pieces of the door frame lined up to where you want them in a square, and you want the base to line up about where you want to lift up the door frame. We're going to build the door frame on the ground first, connect all that, add those struts, and then we'll lift it up, then the doors come. But first, let's put together the door frame. Here are the tools and parts that you'll need for assembling the door frame. Drill with a Phillips head drill bit, 2 of the flat plates, and 4 of the corner metal plates. You'll need some wood screws. You'll need some of the short number 8 silver wood screws, and you'll need these 2 pieces of metal. They will be connector pieces for the top. So, like I said, first things first, we want to line up all 4 of the door frame pieces, with the bottom being where you want the base to sit. Let's take the bottom piece, put it over here because this is where the door is going to be. Top piece. And when you're laying it out, you're going to want to put it down so the painted side is facing the ground. Now for the 2 sides, to figure out where they go, you're going to want to look at the end and see if it has a hole. This one has a hole, and this one, the hole is on this side. So we're going to face the holes in the direction of the top, meaning this one is going to be on this side, lying down like this. And this one will lie down on the opposite side. Now you want to start lining up these 4 pieces to be more exact. So right now, this needs to come out. And you'll see at the bottom of these posted pieces, there's a little notch where this will fit in and create the rectangle of the door frame. These square posts meet up with the square posts of the left and right side. It's all laid out exactly how it needs to be so that we can start assembling. Now that we've got all 4 sides of the door frame lined up, let's connect the top to the 2 sides. You're going to make some room, and you'll see that the 2 are way different sizes. So I'm going to color code them, but for now, my solution has been to just try back and forth. It will be color coded so that you will know which connector goes to which, but the idea is it goes in and then you slide it on one side. Again, scooting it out a little bit, scooting that down into the hole And this is where you might need to make some adjustments. They need to be at a certain angle, but they will go together. Sometimes you just gotta give it a good old hit to get it real snug, and then it slides on. And now you're ready to do the first of the metal plates. So grab the 2 metal plates and your screws and drill, and then you're gonna take your plate and do your best to match it up with the old holes that are already there, because that's gonna make it so much easier for you to get those screws easily into the wood. But watch out, there are some old screws in there. You don't need enough screws for all the holes. I usually try to do at least 2, so 4 total, 2 per section. You wanna stick it in the old hole. That one's blocked, I think. They don't have to go in perfectly straight. There's a gap in between the top part of the post and the main bottom part of the post. That's okay. It'll still go up and be good. All right, we got 1 plate on. Now for the next one. Start off by getting your plate all lined up with the holes as best as you can that are already there. Sometimes it's hard if it's not fit quite snug enough. You might want to get a hammer, just knock it together so it's a little tighter, because right now the holes are a little too far apart. Oh, nice. We got good contact there. Actually, it's a little too close. Let's try it again. Not so close. Let's see there. There we go. I think that's pretty good. All right, come in here and grab your 4 number 8 screws. Perfect. The 2 flat pieces are secured. Now it's time for the corner pieces. So these corners go into the door frame. And again, the idea is to line it up with the holes that are already present, because that's going to make the screw go in the easiest. So it's hard to line up these corner pieces, but it's worth the effort. Don't put in the first one too tight. You might need to loosen it a little bit, because then it may have fallen and misaligned or something. So you can come back and tighten that one until you get a few more in. As you tighten more of the screws into the metal piece, the structure of the corner will come together more fully, but it doesn't have to be like perfectly aligned for it to hold together well. So know that there is a margin of error. The other thing that you want to note about putting in these corner pieces, it can be really easy to misalign the drill and strip the screw. So just be careful and mindful. On to the next one. So again, I'm gonna get my corner piece and my 4 screws out. So they're nice and ready. The other thing to note when you're doing these corners is it's best to place your screws diagonally, so it's not just like both on one side. Since we're not doing all 4, it's best to have them across the way from each other. I ran into a screw butt, so it wouldn't go all the way in, so I'm gonna try the next side hole. It didn't go all the way in, but it's gonna be fine because the rest of the 3 are pretty tight. The angle on it just kind of got off, but again, there is margin of error that is permissible in putting it together. Next, we'll do the bottom part. Grab your last 2 corner pieces, pick a side, get out your screws, line this part up. So it's connected to the side pole now. In order to connect it to this one, you're gonna have to really hold on to it, and you wanna line up the bottom 2x4 with what will be the vertical 2x4, but right now is just perpendicular to it. Perfect. Now for the last one, pull out your 4 screws, Get that drill.
Get this all lined up nicely.
Now I'm pulling the corners together again for a tight fit. I'm gonna screw in the last screws here. Putting pressure on the base. Perfect. Shake off the wood chips. We've done the most on the ground part. All right, next, you're gonna grab those long wood screws. You're gonna need a new drill bit. It's like a star drill bit and your drill. And you're also going to grab the 2 black metal struts. We're gonna connect them to the wood sides so that we can stand this baby up. All right, I got my struts. You're going to want to match the strut here. Again, you'll be able to find holes where previously been put together. The other thing that you need to know is that you want the metal connector side to be closest to the wooden post. So that's how you tell which black strut goes on which side. The other thing you want to make sure, it should line up perfectly, but you always want to make sure that the bottom lining up pretty well with the base of this wooden post.
This is all looking good. You can really line it up like that. These should tighten so there is no space in between the metal and the wood. Making sure this bottom piece is pretty lined up. You can see here that it's going to meet a hole. That's already there. Perfect.
Now we've got the frame together. We've got the metal struts connected so that we can stake it into the ground. It's time to get your helper. You will probably need 1 to 2 depending on the wind, but you can do 2 people with the doors if there's not too much wind. You need at least 2 people to raise it up. Nice to have 3 sometimes. Now you'll want to get your tools ready to put the door frame upright. You'll need an impact drill, 6 stakes. They are lag bolt special stakes. And then this head, it's a 9/16 inch ratchet head. Fits right on there. All right, now that we have our helper, let's lift up the door frame. We're going to start from the top end and slowly push the piece up this way so that it lands on the metal feet. All right, let's do it. Lifting carefully and slowly together, all the way until the feet find the ground behind it. Now, having your partner hold it up to make sure it's stable, go and grab your impact drill and stakes. All right, I put the correct 9/16 inch head onto the drill. There's 3 on each side. Make sure to get the lug bolt screw, the stake, all the way down in the ground for security. Once these are in, it will be super secure. Now it's time to put on the doors. You're gonna need your drill with the Phillips head drill bit, 2 door handle pairs, another Phillips head screwdriver, and then an assortment of screws that will be kept in a bag labeled door screws. In the bag of screws, you will have 4 dark color with a rounded top screw, 4 long screws, and a bunch of shorter flathead screws. These will go to the door handles. These long screws are used to hang the doors at the top hole of the door hardware. And then these, you put 3 of these below the long screw. All right, grab the sun door first. On the inside, you'll see here where the hinges are. There's a label L for the left side, also an arrow showing you which side goes in and which side goes out. So we're gonna first line it up perpendicular to the door frame. Perfect. So now what you'll do is the hinges, you want the hinges to be on the inside, and you'll see up here where there's 4 holes from where it was previously hung. And you'll see again here. So your partner is going to help you by lifting the door and holding it into place so that the hinge is at the right spot for the screws. So you want to grab 2 of the long screws. Like I explained earlier, these are going to hang the door by being on the top circle of the door hardware. And then you'll fill in the bottom 3 on the top and the bottom with the shorter screws. Please lift. We're matching up the hole here. Now for the bottom long screw. Now your partner actually doesn't have to hold the door anymore. We've inserted the 2 longest screws. Now all there is to do is put in the short screws. Your partner can go get the other door. Now we'll go to the next door. He's gonna get that lined up while I grab the screws. Now don't really need our partner anymore. Thank you so much. I'm gonna finish up the rest of the screws here. Perfect. We're almost done with the door setup. Last but not least, we gotta put on the doorknobs. All right, we got our 2 doorknobs, our handheld Phillips screwdriver, and those 4 dark round-headed screws. 2 of each of these are gonna go in this to connect them. They pull apart and then they go back together through the square part. Pick whichever door you're starting with. We want the handle to go inward, so you'll put it in like that. That's actually upside down. I started out with the prong side on this side and it was upside down. All I had to do was flip it around here. Put the prongs on the inside, that's gonna be the right way. Now, that's gonna change for the other one. All right, straighten it on there and see, that looks right. So now it's time to grab our tool and our screw. So see, the screws on this one are gonna go on the outside. You wanna thread this through real straight, otherwise it's not gonna actually tighten. There we go. Now this one, it's gonna be the opposite because they're both like left-handed or something like that. So they're not supposed to be made for double doors here. So yeah, so prong side on the outside, stick it on the inside, straighten it up. And now for this one, screws are gonna be on the inside. And now we have our doors. Next, we're gonna set it up for projection. Now we've come around to the back of the doorway and it's time to hang the sheet. So I've brought over my 6 clamps, my white fitted sheet, and my stepladder. Now, normally it might not be up against a wall this tight, but this is what I can do in my backyard. So bear with me, y'all. First things first, let's get our stepladder into a stable position. Then you wanna get your sheet and make sure that you have the shorter side of the sheet so that you can hang that at the top, and the long side will be, of course, the vertical side. Grab a clamp. What you want to do is hook the corner over the top of the wooden post. For now, we just want to get the first 2 parts up, actually. Here goes our second one. Put that up. Now I'm gonna clamp the clamp right at the corner and tighten it across the wooden post. Drop the corner off of the post, actually, because these aren't quite long enough. Okay, so when you're putting your first clamp up, you'll hang them on the wooden posts, both, to get them placed, right? But we're gonna drop it down so that it's not hanging off the wooden post, but the clamp is at the topmost corner, holding the sheet in place. Again, I'm going to drop down the sheet so that the clamp is holding it at the topmost corner of the doorway opening. Now we can do the other 2 on this side, and we'll do 2 more on this side. Start on the second 2 at the bottom. The last will be in the middle. An important thing to note when you're placing these is you want this short side to be on the inside and the trigger side to be on the outside. Great. Now we're gonna do the middle. You want to just simply gather so it's kind of taut, but it's fine if it's a little loose and it's a little drapey. I'll get you some shots of each of the clamps so you can get an idea of what it looks like from the back. All right, for the next step, we are getting ready to project. So we want our tripod, our projector, the projector charger, an extension cord. This one has 3 heads. You might even need 2. The HDMI cord, the black cord, a phone charger for the technology that we'll be projecting from, and a dongle. Now it's time to project. So let's get all set up. First, grab the tripod. Now I'm gonna go get the projector. All right, the projector will already have the piece that fits into the tripod. So you just pull back the latch, lock it in, getting it level here. Now I'm gonna zoom us in so you can see all the things you need to know about the projector. So the first thing to know is that this is how you turn the projector on. You simply lower the lens cap and it will start to turn on. You can see here on the top side of it, there are 4 dots, and that will tell you how much battery is on the projector. And if there's no battery, the lights won't light up. All right, on the back side here, this is where you'll find the inputs. This is where the charger will come in, the HDMI will plug in here, and that's the only ones we're gonna be using. Let's connect our technology. Let's go grab the dongle, the HDMI cord, and our phone, which is going to be the technology that we project from. All right, I got my objects here. So first I'm gonna put together here the HDMI cord into the dongle. From there, connect the dongle into the phone and the HDMI cord into the back. Now the thing you'll notice is it's got a very short cord, but that is so you can always store the phone right on top of the projector like that. Keeps it safe, keeps it secure, keeps the connection good. So before we set up the projections, I'm going to connect all my chargers and connect to power. I have my 3-prong thing so that you can charge everything at once. Makes it fantastic. All right, now we're connected to power. I mean, both of our items are charged, but they will lose charge within a couple hours to 4 hours. So it's great to always have them plugged into some kind of power source. So it is not quite dark yet, so it is not ideal to set things up at this point, but I'm going to try to see if I can show you how to set up the projection since the lighting is better now. So you open the doors, and typically I set this up nowadays with rear projection, but as you saw when I was setting up the sheet, I don't have much space to move back. So you might be setting up the projector behind the piece, but I am in front of it. And the first thing you'll do is slide that lens cap open and the projector will turn on. This handle here will tilt the top thing, but it's best if it's gonna tilt like that. So I'm gonna line that up here. Now you can see it's saying nebula here. It's a little bit faint. And now you can kind of see there's like a menu coming up. It's inverted to me because it's set up for rear projection already. So it's already set up for it to project from the back side and mirror the image. Now to get the phone set up, once it's plugged in, the projector should immediately start reading the HDMI. There we go, searching for HDMI. And now it's got my phone background here. And I can already tell it's pretty small, so we're gonna have to move it, but let's pull up the video. So you'll go into my photos, go into favorites, scroll into October, and there will be 2 copies of these videos. Choose one. There we go. Let's get it back. So we've got the thing going. Now, in order to make the projection as big as the opening, you'll move the projector either backwards or forwards. If it's too small, you'll have to see which, let's see, when I go forward, it gets smaller. So this one, I'm gonna go backward. All right, here we are, all the way back here. Let's reposition this here. Perfect. So now you can see that I've got the projection lined up with the edges of the doorway. So the last thing you might do to secure the projector is add a sandbag on the hook right below the tripod part and make sure it's all plugged in. The other thing you need to know about the phone is that it needs to be set, the display never auto locks, so it always stays open. That way it'll continue to play. That's also why the battery gets burned really quick and it needs to be plugged in the entire time. For that, you go to settings, then you scroll down to display and brightness, then you hit auto lock, you say never. Great, selected that. Now we can go back to my photos, grab that video, and there we go. So now you simply set the phone up here and it'll stay. You can walk away and enjoy the party or stick around and watch the art. All right, y'all, thanks so much for coming along on the setup journey for portals. I made this to both answer the question of how you pull up with some doors to a park or whatnot, and I made it to help out so that others can set up my portal at events around the Southern California, renting the very cool art installation for their event. So if you're interested in that, don't hesitate to reach out, and I'll be back for more behind the scenes videos, more process videos, and all sorts of fun stuff. So I can't wait to see you till next time. Bye.